For most of us, a dream home is one of the most desired possessions, and many of us save money over a lifetime to own one. Today, on Beware, we highlight how for some consumers, the dream home has proved to be elusive.
Real estate developers charted choppy terrains last year, but even when the going was tough, reputed developers launched ambitious projects and then embarked on a massive fundraising spree to retire debt. And caught in this web of events was the unsuspecting property buyer.
I don't think they're hit by the slowdown because when they've taken the money from the investors for the project, right, so that money should be invested in the right project. The global meltdown is sort of an excuse being used by them to somehow cover up for the delay in the projects.
Today the trouble is not that they are not being able to deliver on the time frame. My trouble is at the beginning of the project only they know that they will not deliver on the time frame. You know, that is a lie.
They say they are a fair company. Where has the money gone? They have collected more than 90 crore rupees.
They're launching new projects every day. So I don't understand why the global meltdown factor.
In the summer of 2006, Ramandeep Singh thought the quest for his dream home ended with realty major Unitech's Habitat Apartments project in Noida. The flat was booked in the name of his father, T.S. Bakshi. He has already paid nearly 90% of the amount, but he claims the project, which was to be completed by July 2009, is only half complete.
We had bought this project with the dream of really staying over there, using the property. Our money is stuck, right? There's no other, I cannot take that money out. I cannot put that money somewhere else. I cannot buy another property. Now, that dream project is on hold. I'm a loser from every end. I'm not getting a property. My money is stuck. I don't get any interest on it. So I'm the overall end loser.
According to Unitech Habitat Owners Association, the project, which made 768 unit allotments at an average price of 65 lakh rupees, now allegedly owes over 300 crore rupees to buyers who are now demanding a refund of their hard-earned money. Singh, who's spearheading the investor movement currently, says the developer is unwilling to discuss the issue.
So we just went for a discussion. They had deployed around 200 bouncers so that we could never enter their office premises and discuss things with them face to face.
In response to Singh's grievance, Unitech says, and I quote, "The tentative delivery date was September 09 as per the terms and conditions of allotment. There is a possibility of some delay because of various reasons beyond the developer's control. Customers are also covered through a protective clause in the terms and conditions of allotment. Offer of possessions for Habitat was scheduled and spread for various towers till end 2010 in a phase-wise manner. The project handover is expected to start from third quarter 2010, barring any unforeseen circumstances, and overall project timelines are expected to be met with." End of quote.
One of the biggest realty player, DLF's consumers are caught in another predicament. The home buyers of its Kolkata project allege that the developer got government sanctions 1 year after the allotments, and consumers were allegedly kept in the dark all this while.
In January 2008, Murli Punjabi saw advertisements in one of the dailies by DLF announcing projects in Kolkata's Rajarhat area. A few inquiries later, Punjabi zeroed in on DLF's Galleria project. 1.5 years later, Punjabi is still waiting for the construction to start.
They have collected the funds from us in the year 2008, February, March, and they've got the sanctions only in this year, March. Though no construction has taken place, only some piling work has been completed.
Aggrieved consumers like Punjabi then created a forum called Rajarhat Welfare Association. Taking the help of Right to Information Act, they found out that DLF allegedly did not have legal permissions required under the West Bengal Apartment Ownership Act 1977.
They had told us everything is in order, all the sanctions are in place. They had no permission, their sanctions were not in order, nothing had been done. They have just got their sanctions this year, March. And before that, they have collected 35% of the amount. As per the rules of the West Bengal Promoters Act, they are not supposed to collect any money till real construction, actual construction starts.
Punjabi and other buyers like him want the company to return their money as they believe there is little indication to suggest the project will meet its completion date.
The scenario is very pathetic. Ultimately, having no resort, we have had to approach the SDO at Barasat Court for some relief, because they have violated all norms of building a project in this state. They are not entitled to collect any funds for construction till actual construction starts, whereas they have collected more than 35%. Instead of addressing our grievances, they have preferred to go head along, being the mighty power that they are, and demanding that we pay the money as per the agreement that they have drafted.
Murli Punjabi fears the wait is going to be long. With no central regulatory body to approach, Punjabi says it's a lone battle for thousands of consumers like him. In response to Murli Punjabi's grievance, DLF said, and I quote, "We have obtained all required approvals for the project. Construction is in full swing and we are committed to deliver the project on schedule as promised."
There is a similar grievance from Brigadier Katyal, who bought a home in Himachal Pradesh. Let's hear him out.
See, I booked a property with Omex in their project in Baddi in 2006 September. It is almost more than 3 years now. There is no progress in their project. At the time of booking, they had said within 18 months your possession will be given. I have even approached them that you give me the refund. I told them to transfer it to my brother-in-law's property in Noida, which was also an Omex property. That also they didn't agree. From September 2006 to October 2007, I have made full payment to them.
Omax, in response to Brigadier Katyal's complaint, said, and I quote, "Construction is in full swing at the project site. The project is slated to be delivered in phases and the initial phase will be ready within a few weeks from now. We are confident that we should start sending offers of possession by December 2009. As the initial phase is running near completion, we are confident of adhering to timelines that we had set for delivery. The construction of the second phase towers is also nearing completion. Most of the structures are already erected and finishing touches are being given to make them ready for delivery as per schedule."
We get many grievances from our viewers who are battling with rising bank interest payments due to delay in possession of their property. So what is the way out for them? We tell you all about that when we return after the short break. Keep watching Beware. Did you know that for every month of delay, the developer may have to pay 1% penalty? But the buyer-seller agreement provided by developers and signed by you can at times potentially exempt the company from all accountability of its promised commitments towards you, which is the buyer. So what do you need to know before you zero in on your dream home? Let's find out.
So you have decided to buy the dream home. But wait, are you aware of the finer details involved in the transaction? Experts say you must invest some time to safeguard your investment by first exploring the credibility of the developer.
The buyer has to see several facts. First is the quality of the developer. Second is the financial bandwidth of the developer. Third is the title, the approvals, the IOD, the commencement certificate. But more importantly are really two factors. One is really what's the built up to carpet area, because a lot of times on the plan you are reflected a built up area, but you need to ask the developer what's the carpet area. The second is the payments which are linked should not be time linked, should really be construction linked. Time linked means irrespective of whether the developer is pouring concrete on the site or not, every quarter or every month you have to pay installment. Now that's trouble, because you're paying the money or the buyer is paying the money to the developer, but that money is not actually getting into the construction.
You must ensure that the project has its regulatory approvals in place. This can considerably help you reduce the degree of risk involved.
That needs to be clearly identified, that what's that construction phase, and does that include your approval process in it, or is it beyond the approval process? And if it's beyond the approval process, then what's the estimate time of the approval, or what's the stage of that approval? I would say is it's nice to get into projects once you have, the developer has the IOD and the CC, which is the commencement certificate, because then you're really de-risking the project to a certain extent.
Most importantly, experts say that it is crucial to read the terms and conditions on the application form. While the agreement is normally given at the time of possession, you must remember that the application form will override your buyer-seller agreement in case the two are different.
On the application form that you do, you can have that registered as well. But clearly I can tell you is, if you've got an application form where the terms and conditions are not being reflected in the final sale agreement, you will be able to enforce the terms and conditions written in the application form, because you and I have entered into an agreement understanding that application form. So that's the base of the agreement, and under the common law of torts, it's very simple that that's what we entered into, and that's what our understanding is. Now subsequently that understanding cannot unilaterally be changed. So the terms and conditions at the initial stage of the contract will need to be reflected at the final stage. So clearly the buyer will have the right to challenge the developer if the terms and conditions in the application form are different to what it is in the final agreement.
And you're entitled to penalty payments from the developer in case of delay in flat possession.
Once the developer is written in the application form that these are the penalties, you'll be able to enforce those penalties. There's no reason why you will not be able to enforce those penalties. It's up to the buyer to go out and say, look, this is what the clause is. I've got, the project got delayed by 9 months. You need to pay me, whatever that penalty is, which is written in that agreement.
So the next time you sign the dotted line, read the application form and the buyer-seller agreement in conjunction. But in case of a dispute, what are the options left with the consumer? More on that on the other side of this break. Welcome back. You're watching Beware. Most often, consumers are not aware of what recourse they have in case of a dispute. So let's find out the answers from well-known consumer lawyer Uday Vavikar. Uday, in case of property disputes, what is the redressal mechanism available to consumers?
The provisions are as per the agreement. Now they are the contractual obligation. If builder agrees to give 1% or 2% damages for not giving the possession in time, then these damages can be claimed from city civil court or consumer court. Today unfortunately there is no central regulating body or authority for builders, because builders are not registered, builders are not accredited. You and me also can become a builder tomorrow and nobody can ask us why. Overnight fly-by-night operators are coming in, brokers are coming in, financiers are coming in. They are luring people, selling dreams and actually not delivering anything. So there is a big need of central regulating authority. But if you go to Consumer Protection Act, you can redress your grievances and they are fairly effective.
Is the Consumer Protection Act the one recourse that consumers have?
There are several cases where now there is a provision in Consumer Protection Act to get an interim relief. A purchaser can file a complaint before Consumer Protection Act and ask for interim relief. Where the flat is not given in time, agreement date is suppose January 2000, next January, 10th of January, 2 years, after 2 years the possession was to be given, builder does not give possession in 2 years and EMI is being cut, you can file a complaint before consumer court that the promise date for possession was this, and till after 6 months I have not been given possession, I am at a loss of EMI. You can get interim relief to get a EMI to be paid by builder. Till such time he cannot complete the project. You can also get the rent, alternate rent for a place which you have taken because the builder has not given you possession, and there are orders to this effect as an interim relief in a complaint. And if this interim relief is not complied, the builder can go to the jail for 3 years rigorous imprisonment, or his properties can be attached and sold and monies can be given to the consumer from consumer court.
Uday, in some cases we have seen developers have accepted money even though they did not have complete sanctions for the project. What's the recourse for a consumer in such an instance?
It all depends on your contractual obligations. If you look at the agreement, and if the title clear title is assured by the promoter, developer or builder, then it is the liability of the builder to refund the entire amount with interest. Not only refund the entire amount, but consumer courts in Asiatic judgment, National Commission recently has given refund as a market price to the consumer, because he can't buy a flat at the booking rate. Therefore, the market price with compensation and interest are given.
Uday, what does a consumer do if a developer increases prices subsequently before giving possession?
With the inflation of market price, it's a burning issue now, even in consumer courts and in city of Bombay, that many developers want to have now current market price from the customers who have booked the flats much earlier and they have delayed the possession. Consumer Protection Act and several cases which are now judgments are given by the consumer courts are very clear that it amounts to an unfair trade practice. Because I book at X time, I enter into an agreement at X time, you are supposed to complete the project within a Y time. If you don't complete the project within a Y time, it's not consumer's fault, and you can't take advantage of such fault, which would totally amount to an unfair trade practice and deficiency of service, and therefore the builders are directed to give the possession at the old rate immediately within a stipulated period of time by the judgments of the consumer court, and it would be considered as an unfair trade practice, and for the amount or the delayed period, compensations are given to the consumers because they must be paying rent, and for the mental harassment and agony and legal costs are also given.
Thank you, Uday Vavekar, for joining us and clarifying all those points for our viewers. Well, so put on the magnifying glass on your home agreement and beware of what it states on matters of delay and project approvals before you sign the agreement. On our part, we will continue to caution you because we believe the truth must be told.